Hey you guys, and welcome back to the vlog. I haven't been checking YouTube because a lot has been going on lately, and it's been about 2 weeks since I posted my last video, and a lot of stuff has gone on since then. I had all of these fun plans of filming a bunch of videos, and then life happened, so I thought I would just come on here and touch base with you guys to let you know what's been going on. So, the week after I posted my video, David's brother, his youngest brother, my brother-in-law, sorry, it's here in my mouth. My brother-in-law came and visited us, and we were so excited. We had all of these plans, and then the weekend said it was gonna rain. So we're like, okay, well, let's get our plans that have to do with outside activities done in the beginning of the week, and then that way when it's raining over the weekend, we can just have some special family bonding time. So Thursday came. We had booked a couple tickets for the ghost tour downtown Savannah. Side note, if you don't know much about Savannah, it's technically known as the most haunted city in the US. There is a lot of death and lore and history revolving around this city, which we love, and that's part of the reason why we're here. So we wanted to take his brother on a tour. Oh, I just realized that my microphone is not plugged in. Hold on, let me see. Sorry, I realized that the microphone wasn't plugged into my computer, so I hope the audio is okay in that first clip. So to retrack what I was saying, Thursday came and we had booked a ghost tour later in that evening for 9 p.m. It was going to be David, me, his brother, and then our two good friends were going to come with us. So we decided to go out for a drink beforehand and go on the ghost tour. We were on the ghost tour and it was cold. And I was in a jacket. I wasn't cold at first, but it got cold as the night went on and it was windy, and I was tense because I was cold, but it wasn't anything unbearable. I just was kind of like tightening my stomach. And so when we got home at about 10:30, we got ready for bed, and 11 o'clock, my stomach started hurting. And I thought maybe this might be a little TMI, but I thought it might have been like trapped gas because my upper stomach is what was hurting. And I thought, okay, well, maybe we went out and got a drink, and then I did a bunch of walking and I was tightening my stomach, so maybe that's the case. But it got worse and worse, and I was in constant pain from Thursday night at 11 p.m. to Friday morning at 7 a.m. It felt like someone had taken my upper muscle of my stomach and went like this and was holding it there. And I just sat in bed holding my upper stomach. David was going in and out of sleep, and I kept telling him, like, my stomach hurts. And maybe because I wasn't crying or like moaning a lot or anything, it didn't seem like a huge concern at first. He told me to take some Pepto, and I did. There was a moment in the early morning around 4 where I felt sick. So I thought, okay, well, maybe like I'm coming down with the stomach bug, because the boys had been kind of sick like the couple weeks before. Dorian had thrown up once. Jude hadn't thrown up at all, but they had diarrhea and stuff. So I was like, well, maybe they have some form of the norovirus, and maybe that's what I got. But I was thinking, like, usually like your stomach hurts a little and then like you throw up and your stomach calms down, and then it flares up again when you're about to have like another episode of being sick. But this was constant. It was constant for those 8 hours, and I just remember thinking, like, oh no, I'm not getting any sleep. I'm gonna have to watch the kids on like no sleep. And Rick, his brother, is here and stuff. And I was like, oh crap. And then in the morning, at like 7 in the morning, I just told David, and this was Friday morning, and he had taken the day off to spend with his brother and us. And I was like, hey, like, I think I need to go to the ER. And I never say that. And I knew something was wrong. And we went to the ER. To my look, once I got checked in and everything, like, my stomach stopped hurting. And I told, like, you could tell I wasn't in as much pain. Like, is that always the case at, like, the emergency room? I feel like it's so bad, and then when you get there, like, maybe just internally your body kind of relaxes because you're like, okay, I know I'm in a place that's gonna help me feel better, so your body just doesn't tense as much. But I told David, and he's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, but I mean, it's still not normal that it hurt for, 8 hours straight. So it's still good that I'm here. I mean, I'm glad I'm not in as much pain, but I was kind of like, WTF, like, we're here. Luckily, it wasn't that busy. There were only 2 people ahead of me, so I think we might have waited like an hour and a half to get called in the back. But I went in the back, and I told the nurse in the ER triage what was going on. And he checked me out and said they did some blood work. They took some blood, so they were going to check my blood. They made me pee in a cup to make sure I wasn't pregnant, and which I'm not. This is not where this story is going. And he said he was going to get me hooked up for a CT scan because I told him that the pain was in my upper stomach, which it was, but then it had radiated towards my lower stomach by that time, and my upper stomach wasn't hurting anymore, but like I felt very crampy in my lower stomach. And so I was just not really sure what was going on because the symptoms were kind of inconsistent. And he had touched in my appendix area, and that's where it was tender, and he's like, I think your appendix might be inflamed, so let's go ahead and do a CT scan just to double check, and we'll see what's going on. He's like, I'm pretty sure it's your appendix. And so they did a CT scan, and once the results came back, he confirmed that my appendix was somewhat inflamed and they were going to need to do emergency surgery. This story makes the sequence of events sound pretty quick. It was a drag. The ER is always a drag. It takes forever. David ended up leaving me by myself because I told him, I was like, just go home with his brother Rick and the kids, and I was like, I'll let you know what goes on, because at that point we were waiting for the surgeon to come back to confirm if we were going to do surgery same day or not. And at that point I had the worst sinus headache. I had not taken my daily sinus medication, which I make sure to do every day, because if not I get really bad sinus migraines, especially being here in the South with the pollen and everything. And now that it's transitioning from winter to spring, like, the winds are crazy. So it's just flaring everything up. And then the super bright lights in the ER, it was awful. And then my stomach feeling uncomfortable. And I just told him to go home. I felt bad. I was, like, bored out of my mind. Luckily, at that point, like, he had given me a Percocet for my headache. And I was just sitting there waiting to hear from the surgeon. I was actually... I text David because I was like, I feel like I'm in like a TV drama show, because in triage it's only a curtain like separating each patient, and I could hear everything everybody was saying, and like it was mostly elder people that were next to me, and I was just like, wow, like a lot is going on in this little room. I'm not gonna go into it because that's their own personal business. But I had nothing to do. Like, I couldn't watch my phone because my head hurt so bad. I was laying there under a sheet trying to, like, diffuse some of the light that was penetrating. And I was just on survival mode. So they end up telling me that they have admitted me to the hospital. And they weren't sure they were going to do surgery. They weren't sure what time they were going to do surgery, but they were going to do it. That he was behind schedule because of another emergency that came up that took precedence before me, and they were able to secure me a room. So he gave me a gown and told me, we're not really sure which one is going to go first, So they ended up wheeling me up into the room, which was a horrible experience because once they started moving me with my migraine, I felt so nauseous. I hadn't eaten all day. Like the last time I had ate was 5 the previous day. So it was going on almost 24 hours of no food. I hadn't had my medication. I had no sleep. I felt terrible. I felt terrible. And they wheeled me up to the room, and not even 15 minutes they came in and said, we're ready to, operate on you and get your appendix out. And I was just so tired of waiting. By that time I was just like, okay, let's get it out already. So they took me into surgery, and everybody was really nice. The staff was really great. I talked to the surgeon before I went in. He told me that it was a laparoscopic type surgery to get my appendix removed, that a robot was going to do it, and he was going to play his little video game remote to operate the robot to get it out of me. So that was kind of funny. I like that he said that because it gave me a laugh before I went under. And they rolled me into the operating room and strapped me to the bed and knocked me out, and I was sick. I've never had a problem with anesthesia before, but I was so sick. I'm not going to go into details, but the anesthesia and the pain medication just was not working for your girl here, and I felt horrible the next day. And apparently a thing they do with surgery is they pump you, well, first with the anesthesia, they pump you full of gas to knock you out. And then with appendectomy, I think that's how you say it, appendectomy, they pump you full of gas, I'm assuming to push all your organs forward so it's easier to remove a piece of the organ. And in this case, the appendix is on the lower intestine. It's towards the lower intestine area, maybe towards the end. Surgeon said it actually has no function other than causing problems. And he said maybe in the past when the body was different, it might have had a function, but right now, like, it does absolutely nothing. And he told me that it was a very low risk procedure and not to worry. So that was good. But I had a really horrible first day after the surgery. So that was a struggle, but I've been healing okay every day since then. Today actually marks a week since I had my surgery. I just have taken a little break from YouTube, and I miss you guys. I miss recording. I miss posting. But I wanted to come on here and to give you guys an explanation of where I've been and let you know what's been going on, let you know that I'm okay. I also like to think that maybe this video can give a little bit of my testimonial as information in case you've been having some issues with your stomach, with your appendix, maybe what the procedure might look like for you. I don't do well on pain meds that are opioids anyways, so I'm sure if somebody can take opioids, they wouldn't feel so sick. The nausea medicine helped a lot. But I told them already, like, that wasn't going to work, and that's what they wanted to give me, and said it was a low dose and it would be fine, and it still made me sick. But trial and error. They found something else and I was okay. I can't lift my kids for 6 weeks. I'm not supposed to lift anything over 20 pounds for the first 2 weeks and anything over 30 pounds for the next 6 weeks. They went in 3 different places, 1 under my belly button and 2 on my lower stomach, 1 in the middle, 1 on the bottom left. I'm going to insert the pictures now in case you're curious. I personally don't think it's super gross, but if you're squeamish and something like that bugs you, just go ahead and close your eyes and I will let you know when the pictures are gone.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free.
Okay, if your eyes are closed, you can open them. But you can see the incisions aren't terrible. As of right now, like, I'm doing actually pretty good. I took Jude to the park by myself for the first time today since I have been healing. I just am doing my best, taking it slow. I'm actually, the healing process wasn't that bad. I honestly feel like the pressure from the trapped gas hurts more and was making my stomach more tender than the incisions themselves. The trapped gas actually feels a lot better today, so it might be diffusing. But it's been a wild ride. It has been a wild ride, and I did not expect that to happen. I hadn't really had any issues before. It just was out of the blue. So needless to say, if you feel like your body is up to something abnormal, you're experiencing any kind of abnormal pain or sensation or something, like, make sure you get it checked out. Make sure you're okay, because they told me if I hadn't come in, most likely within 48 to 72 hours, my appendix would have ruptured, which would have released chemicals, which could have made me sick and possibly killed me. So from some disease that could have formed, let alone, like, I can't even imagine the amount of pain I would have been in if my appendix ruptured. Like, I was in pretty decent pain. It was tolerable, but I was in decent pain, and I don't know, I probably would have blacked out if it would have ruptured. That would have just been too much. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm gonna do my best to record and get videos posted. I do want to record what's in my kids' Easter basket next, so that'll most likely be the video coming up. But that's it for story time. I just wanted to do a little sit with me, chit chat, and give you guys an update on what's been going on. I'm okay. Every day is better, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. If you've stuck with me through this little break, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to reaching out and sharing my life with you guys more in the future. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.